Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll be going over the last and final round of the Clovis National Chess Day. I'm currently 2.5 out of 3, and if I get a win, I secure first place in this tournament. Let's see if we can do it. We're playing the black pieces, so I'm going to flip it around from my perspective. My opponent is Gavin, who's a 1637 player. He was at one point close to 1800. This is USCF, of course. And this game, like all the others, is game 40, delay 5. It starts out with c4, going for the classic English. And what's funny is Gavin, we've played a lot of games against each other, and he's never played c4. I think he didn't want to go into lines that we've always played, since we've had like a 50-50 result, and since he's much higher rated than me, he does not want to go into lines that we've already played. So he goes c4. I go into trying to play into a Slav, semi-Slav type position, and he goes knight f3. I go knight f6. He goes knight c3, and I push d5 here. And then he goes d4, and then we transpose into a Slav. So he tried tricking me by going c4, hoping I'd play something symmetrical like c5 or reverse the Sicilian with e5, but we ended up transposing into an opening I like, and I was okay with that. I felt like this was a good win for me in the opening, since I didn't go into his English preparation. So I go e6, complete the nice pyramid in the middle here. And then he develops his bishop. I go ahead and defend it. And he plays e3. I castle. He goes bishop d4. And I like playing this line here, takes, bishop takes, and then pushing this pawn here and going for first you go here, play a6, bishop b7, knight d7, and then go for this idea. So I play knight here first. He castles. I guard the pawn. That way when we push here, this pawn's defended. Typical semi-Slav ideas. He goes there, and this was a move I've seen before, and I couldn't remember what the actual response was. Maybe I should have gone here, which I believe is the best move. But I went for something a bit different, which I've never played. I believe I've played maybe a couple times. I go for b4. Then he goes knight in the middle. And here I was calculating takes, and then this is what happened. Takes, and then I believe it was here. No, it wasn't here. There was a line, I'm trying to think where it was. If I could take here. Yeah, I was wondering if I could take here, and then when he takes, I take this pawn, and then he takes my queen, and then I take his queen. And then for some reason I thought in the end of the line he could free his bishop here, and then my knight is just hanging. But I have the tempo with rook e8 to attack here, and it doesn't work out, so I could just play that for you. So takes, and then, apparently this doesn't work. The engine doesn't like it. Why doesn't it like it? Because of queen. It wants queen takes. Why doesn't this work? Oh, this is what I saw in the game. This is why I didn't play it. Because then you get these oops. You get these ideas, and then you're just gonna get mated. Yeah, this is why I didn't play in the game. Yes, I remember now. This is why I didn't play it, and instead I took takes, and then I took with the queen in the game, because I saw this line here. Yes, and then so he takes. I guard the pawn. He attacks it. I defend it one more time, and he brings his queen here, which I thought was kind of slow. And it allowed me to attack his bishop here, and then get my knight, more active into the game. He defends the knight, which I thought was sort of weird. I thought he was gonna play something like bishop d3, you know, attacking this pawn. But instead he lets me take the bishop, so I'm gonna take that any day. And then he takes the knight, and apparently white is better in this position, which I did feel like he was, you know, he's gonna come in here, and then how am I defending both of these pawns? But yeah, because I can't, if he comes here, then I have to take with the queen. But I thought it was playable, and so I go e5, and I believe I spent a lot of my time here. But in this position, I'm probably like, let's say I have like 30 minutes and my opponent has like 20 minutes, around there. And so he's down on the clock, and then I spend like a good 8 minutes here calculating some lines with the knight coming in. And I didn't see any lines like playing rook here that I liked, so I just went attacking the center with e5. My opponent actually spent quite a bit here. I believe he spent like 10 minutes and he's already down to like, so he went down to like 10 minutes just in this one move. He ended up taking, I took with the queen, and he plays here, which is what I expected. So at this point, I know I'm like, not lost, but like I have a worse position. So I'm playing quickly, trying to get him low on time. Remember, this is only a delay 5 game. So if I could get him low on pressure on the clock, then that would be, you know, a great way for me to get a chance to equalize at one point. I come back to guard the bishop, so if he takes, I could take, and these pawns will still be defended. Instead, he goes rook here, just bring his rooks a little bit more active, trying to stack here and put a lot of pressure on this pawn. And he's also attacking this pawn, so I defend it. Then he brings his rook here. I bring my rook to d8, and he just stacks his pieces on this file here. And at this point, I'm like, you know, he has a lot of pressure, but I mean, how does he really ever, you know, if he goes takes, at one point he takes, I take, and he takes, I can take, and then, or he takes, I take, he takes the queen, and then I have queen takes, because if he takes here, I have, you know, he has back rank problems. So I go here defending the pawn if he ever goes takes. Then we have these ideas of make sure this is solid, and then now he realizes that, you know, his back rank issue is an actual problem, and, you know, creates a love for his king. I bring my bishop back just to save it. I like my bishop with long-term pressure. If I can ever get my, you know, queen on these light squares, then we have some checkmating ideas over here. And at this point, he's like down to like 5 minutes, and he brings his knight back. I bring my queen with the idea of pushing this pawn, threatening like some checkmates. And he attacks my queen with the rook, and I go here, just trying to keep my queen on this diagonal. And if he takes, I can just take here. If I can't take this way because I get checkmated. So he takes, I take, and at this point it says, a little spoiler, it says I won, but my opponent went down to like 2 minutes, if not less. And I believe the game continued something with like here. No, he didn't blunder that, obviously. Here, it was here. Then I went back here. And there was a point where I can't remember what exactly happened. It was actually a while ago since I played this game. But there was something that happened, like, I think he had the opportunity to take this pawn at one point. But let's just say there's a scenario. I'm just going to set up the position where I went something like this, and it was threatening this, and my queen was in this position, and the only way to defend it was, let's say his queen was here. I'm just going to make a waiting move. Actually, let's make this move. And the only way to defend it was to bring his queen back, and I can't remember what happened exactly. But anyways, he had to defend his pawn, and I think there was some point where he pushed here, and I ended up winning this rook, to say the least. I can't remember exactly how, but I ended up winning this rook, and I went on to win the game because my opponent was on time pressure. But anyways, that was my how I won my first chess tournament. And just to show you guys, this was the results. I was 14-17 at the start of this tournament, and I finished 15-28. So I gained 111 elo, and I had the 2 wins, the draw, and the win in the last round. And this was my first ever win in the open section here. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys stick around for some more videos that I make. Thank you.